This is not a talk. This is a battle cry. This is a declaration of war on every lie you've been fed, every excuse you've clung to, and every moment of weakness you've allowed to define you. You've been tricked, manipulated, and domesticated into a version of yourself that is soft, hesitant, and apologetic. That ends today. This speech is not for the weak. It's not for the men who are content to be walked over, ignored, and discarded by a world that doesn't care if they live or die. This is for the men who are ready to wake up. And before we go further, let me make one thing crystal clear. You will take action right now. Check out the links in the description. I don't care if you don't understand why. Do it. Because if you can't follow one simple command, if you hesitate even now, you've already lost the war I'm about to teach you how to win. Now let's begin. The lie you've been living. Since the day you were born, the world has been shaping you into something you were never meant to be. Weak, passive, controlled. They've raised you on a steady diet of submission. They've trained you to seek approval instead of dominance, to avoid conflict instead of conquering it, to be nice instead of strong. They put you in classrooms where they taught you to sit down, shut up, and obey. They taught you that aggression was wrong, that ambition was selfish, that your natural instincts were something to be ashamed of. They told you to be a good boy, to be polite, to never challenge authority. And if you ever stepped out of line, you were punished, scolded, humiliated, made an example of. And what did you do? You adapted. You learned to shrink yourself. You learned to suppress your power. You learned to play the role they wanted you to play, thinking that if you were just good enough, if you just waited long enough, your time would come. But it never did, because the world doesn't reward weakness. It exploits it. It preys on it. And that's why you feel the way you do. That's why you wake up every morning with that heavy weight in your chest, that frustration, that quiet rage you can't explain. That's why you feel like something is missing, like you were meant for more but can't seem to grasp it, because you were. And the only thing standing between you and the life you were meant to live is the lie you've been told. The lie that you have to wait for permission to take what's yours. The truth about power. Power isn't given, it's taken. That's the first rule you need to burn into your mind. No one is going to hand you anything. No one is going to wake up one day and decide to reward you for your patience, your kindness, or your suffering. Power belongs to those who seize it. Look around at the men who rule the world. Do you think they got there by playing fair? Do you think they sat back, waited their turn, and hoped that one day life would reward them? Number, they took it. They imposed their will on reality. They walked into the room and made it theirs. The problem with you is that you've been conditioned to believe that ambition is wrong, that wanting more is selfish, that dominance is toxic. It's not. Dominance is natural. It's survival. It's the way the world works. Either you control your life, or someone else will control it for you. There is no in-between, that job you hate. You're there because someone with more power decided that's where you belong. That woman who doesn't respect you, she treats you like an option because you let her. That frustration in your chest, that's your body screaming at you to wake the hell up. You are not supposed to be a spectator in your own life. You are supposed to be the main character, the one who dictates the terms, the one who decides what happens and when. But you've been living like prey, and you wonder why the predators of the world keep eating you alive, destroying the weakness in you. Weakness is a disease, and like any disease, it must be eradicated. You need to understand something. You are your own worst enemy. No one is holding you back more than you. Not society, not women, not your boss, not the government. You. Your hesitation, your fear, your excuses, your unwillingness to embrace discomfort. That is what's keeping you trapped. And if you don't kill that weakness, it will kill you. Here's what needs to happen. 1. Stop apologizing for who you are. You don't owe the world an apology for wanting more. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to ask for permission. You take. 2. Train like a savage. A weak body breeds a weak mind. Your body is the foundation of your power. Build it, break it, push it past its limits. If you're not training every day, you're leaving power on the table. 3. Command respect or walk away. If people don't respect you, it's because you've allowed them not to. Correct them or cut them off. There is no negotiation. 4. Kill the nice guy. The nice guy is a lie. He's a mask, a weak man who thinks being passive will earn him love and loyalty. It won't. People don't respect men who give without demand. 5. Take what's yours. No more hesitation, no more waiting, no more hoping things change. You make them change. You see what you want, and you go after it with everything you have, living like a king. The world belongs to men who refuse to be controlled. You've spent your entire life being told that you have to fit in, that you have to play by the rules, that you have to be one of the good ones. And where has it gotten you? Miserable, unfulfilled, full of regret. You have a choice to make right now. You can continue down the path you've been on, the path of weakness, hesitation, and submission. Or you can burn that path to the ground and build a new one, a path of dominance, power, and control. No more waiting, no more excuses. You take what's yours. And if you're not ready for that, if this speech made you uncomfortable, if you feel resistance, if you want to argue with what I'm saying, then stay weak, stay lost, stay forgotten. But if something inside you is screaming, if you feel that fire, if you're ready to step up and reclaim your power, then it's time to take your life back. Time to stop explaining yourself. Time to stop making excuses. Time to take what's yours. Now go. And don't look back.